Alright now, let me talk to y'all for a minute. Have you ever really looked at the change in your pocket? I mean, looked at it. We see coins every single day. We use them to buy a soda. We drop them in a parking meter. We find them under the sofa cushions. Most of the time, we don't give them a second thought. They're just metal. Just a little bit of money. But what if I told you that one of those little metal discs could change your entire life? I'm talking about going from worrying about bills to not having a single worry in the world. Now you're listening, right? See, every coin has a story. It's been somewhere. It's seen things. It's passed through the hands of hundreds, maybe thousands of people. Rich folks, poor folks, dreamers, and schemers. Each one of those people left a little piece of their story on that coin, and sometimes, just sometimes, a coin picks up more than just a story. It picks up a little bit of magic, a little bit of luck. It holds on to that luck, waiting for the right person to come along. This ain't no fairy tale, people. This is a true story about how one single solitary coin turned a man's life completely upside down in the best way possible. This ain't just about getting rich, though. It's about hope. It's about how the universe can throw you a curveball when you least expect it. You could be at your lowest point, feeling like you can't catch a break. You're thinking, man, is this it for me? And then, bam! Something small happens, something you almost missed. A simple forgotten object comes into your life, and it holds the key to everything you've ever prayed for. It's a reminder that you can never, ever give up. Because you never know when your lucky day is right around the corner, maybe even sitting in your own pocket. So, I want you to stick with me. We're about to go on a journey that starts over 100 years ago, in a place where money is made. We're gonna follow one very special coin as it travels through history. We're gonna meet the people who held it, and we're gonna see how it ended up in the hands of a man who needed a miracle more than anyone. This story will make you believe in luck. It will make you believe in second chances, and it will definitely make you check your change before you spend it. Let's get into it. Now, to understand this story, we gotta go way back. I'm talking all the way back to 1913. The world was a different place. Cars were just starting to become a thing. Most folks were still getting around with a horse and buggy. The US Mint, that's the place where they make all the money, had just switched up the design of the nickel. They were getting rid of the old design, the one with Lady Liberty's head on it, and bringing in the new Buffalo nickel. It was a big deal at the time. Out with the old, in with the new. Everybody was excited about this new coin. But here's where the story gets good. See, there was a guy working at the Mint in Philadelphia. His name was Samuel Brown. Now, Samuel was a bit of a character. He saw that the old Liberty head design was about to be gone forever, and he got an idea, a sneaky idea. He thought to himself, what if I made just a few of the old nickels with the new 1913 date on them? Now, this was against all the rules. The Mint had officially stopped making them. But Samuel, he went ahead and did it anyway. He secretly minted 5, that's right, just F-I-V-E, of these 1913 Liberty head nickels. These 5 little coins were his secret. His hidden treasure. He wasn't supposed to make them, and they weren't supposed to exist. For years, nobody even knew they were real. People thought they were just a rumor. A ghost story for coin collectors. Samuel held on to them, knowing he had something special, something unique. It's like having the only 5 tickets to the greatest show on Earth. Each coin was a tiny piece of history that wasn't supposed to happen. It was a rebel coin, born from a secret act in the middle of the night. That's what makes it so valuable. Think about that for a second. Out of the billions and billions of coins made in history, only 5 of these exist. Their story didn't start with a big announcement or a parade. It started with a secret, a whisper in the halls of the US Mint. That's the kind of beginning that leads to a legendary story. You know, it's a fun fact that for a long time, the US government said these coins were fakes and didn't even exist. They were trying to cover up the fact that somebody broke the rules. But you can't hide the truth forever. And you sure can't hide a treasure like this. So, Samuel Brown has these 5 secret nickels. What's he gonna do with them? He can't just go spend them on a haircut in a newspaper. They're too special. For about 7 years, he kept them all to himself, but the secret was too good to keep. In 1920, he finally decided to show them to the world. He put an ad in a coin collector's magazine, offering to buy any 1913 Liberty Head nickel he could find. Now he already had all 5 of them. This was just his clever way of letting the world know they were real without admitting he made them. The man was slick, I'll give him that. The coin world went crazy. Collectors were falling all over themselves trying to get a look at these impossible coins. Samuel sold the set of 5 to a very wealthy collector named Colonel Green. Now, this is where our special coin begins its real journey. Colonel Green was a famous collector of everything: stamps, jewels, and especially coins. He loved to show off his treasures. He would take his set of 5 nickels to coin shows all across the country. Our little nickel was now a star, traveling first class, being admired by thousands of people who knew they were looking at a legend. But Colonel Green couldn't live forever. After he passed away, his massive collection was broken up and sold off. The 5 nickels were separated for the first time. They went their separate ways, each one starting a new chapter. Our coin, the one this story is all about, was sold to a dealer in North Carolina. This dealer, a man named George Walton, was so proud to own it. He carried it in his pocket everywhere he went, as a good luck charm. He loved to pull it out and show it to people, telling them the story of how it was one of only 5 in the entire world. The coin was more than just money to him. It was a piece of history he could hold in his hand. He was on his way to a coin show in 1962, with his lucky nickel tucked safely in his pocket. But here's where life throws one of those curveballs I was talking about. On the way to that show, George Walton was in a tragic car accident, and he died. In the chaos of the crash, the coin was lost. Investigators looked for it, but they couldn't find it. For the next 40 years, the world thought one of the 5 legendary nickels was gone forever. It vanished, just like that. So, the coin is lost, right? Everyone in the fancy coin world thinks it was destroyed in that crash, but it wasn't. Here's what really happened. In the confusion after the accident, the nickel must have fallen out of George Walton's pocket. Maybe it rolled under a seat, or got kicked into the grass on the side of the road. Someone, probably a tow truck driver or a kid walking by, must have picked it up. To them, it wasn't $1 million treasure, it was just a nickel. A weird-looking old nickel, but still just 5 cents. So what do you do with a nickel? You spend it. And just like that, our legendary coin was back in circulation. It went from being a protected treasure to being just another coin in somebody's cash register. Can you imagine? A coin worth millions being used to buy a pack of gum or a newspaper. It probably passed through hundreds of hands. A waitress in a diner getting it as a tip. A bus driver giving it out as change. A kid putting it in a gumball machine hoping for a red one. Nobody had a clue what they were holding. They were touching a piece of history, a winning lottery ticket, and they didn't even know it. This went on for decades. The coin traveled all over the country, living a secret life. It probably sat in a dusty jar of change on someone's dresser for years. It might have been found between the cushions of an old movie theater seat. Each person who touched it had their own life, their own struggles, their own dreams. The coin was a silent witness to it all. It heard arguments and laughter. It was there for first dates and final goodbyes. It was a part of the everyday American story, hiding in plain sight. It's a wild thought, isn't it? You know, there's an old saying that money talks. Well, if this coin could talk, man, the stories it would tell. It would talk about the hope in a young boy's eyes as he used it to buy a comic book. It would talk about the relief of a mother who found it in her pocket when she was a nickel short for a loaf of bread. It was a part of so many small, forgotten moments. All the while, the coin collecting world was mourning its loss, thinking it was gone for good. But the coin was just out there, living, waiting for its next big moment. Alright, let's fast forward. We're getting to the good part now. The year is 2025. Let me introduce you to a man named Leo Martinez. Leo is a good man, a hard-working man, but life hasn't been too kind to him. He works 2 jobs, one as a janitor at a downtown office building and another washing dishes at a little diner. He's trying to support his family, trying to give his daughter a better life. But every time he gets a little bit ahead, something happens. The car breaks down. The rent goes up. It feels like he's running on a treadmill and can't ever get off. Leo is the kind of guy who never complains. He just puts his head down and works harder. But inside, He's tired. He dreams of a day when he doesn't have to worry all the time. A day when he can take his daughter to Disneyland, or just buy her a new bike without having to check his bank account first. He's full of hope, but that hope is starting to fade. He feels invisible, like just another guy struggling to get by. He doesn't know it yet, but the universe is about to see him. It's about to hand him the break of a lifetime. One Tuesday night, after a long shift at the diner, Leo is cleaning up. His boss, a kind but busy woman named Maria, is cashing out the register. She hands him his pay for the night in cash. "Here you go, Leo. Thanks for all your hard work," she says. It's a small stack of crumpled bills and a handful of coins. Leo shoves it all in his pocket, too tired to even count it. All he can think about is getting home to his daughter, reading her a bedtime story, and getting a few hours of sleep before he has to get up and do it all over again. On his way home, he stops at a vending machine in the bus station to get his daughter her favorite candy bar. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the change Maria gave him. He's looking for a quarter, but all he sees are dimes and nickels. He grabs one of the nickels. It looks a little different. The lady on the front looks older and the date is hard to read under the dim light. He almost puts it in the machine. Almost. But, for some reason, he stops. Something tells him to hold on to this one. He puts it back in his pocket and uses a different coin instead. He had no idea that one small decision just saved him millions of dollars. So Leo gets home. He gives his daughter the candy bar and a big hug, and he tucks her into bed. After she's asleep, he finally sits down at his small kitchen table to count his pay from the diner. He empties his pockets, and out comes that funny-looking nickel. Now, in the light of his kitchen, he can see it better. It's worn down, sure, but there's something about it. The date is definitely 1913, and the face on it is not the one he's used to seeing on nickels. He's seen a lot of change in his life, but he's never seen a nickel that looks quite like this one. Leo isn't a coin collector. He doesn't know a Liberty head from a buffalo, but he's curious. He has an old laptop his neighbor gave him, and he decides to look it up. He types "old nickel 1913" into the search bar. The first thing that pops up is an article with a headline that says, "World's Rarest Coins." He clicks on it, and there it is, a picture of a coin that looks exactly like the one sitting on his table. The article talks about the 5 legendary 1913 Liberty head nickels. It says 4 are in private collections, and 1 has been missing for over 40 years. His heart starts beating like a drum. I mean, can you imagine? He's reading that this little piece of metal, this thing he almost put in a vending machine, could be worth millions of dollars. It can't be real. It has to be a mistake. He reads the article again. And again. He compares the picture on the screen to the coin in his hand. The shape of the L in Liberty. The position of the date. It all matches. He starts shaking. This can't be happening to him. People like him don't just find lost treasure on a Tuesday night. He doesn't sleep a wink that night. He just sits there staring at the coin. His whole life, he's felt like he's been at the bottom of a deep, dark hole, trying to climb out. And now, it feels like someone just threw him a golden rope. He's scared to believe it. He's scared it's a dream, and he's going to wake up. But the coin is heavy in his hand. It's real. And in that moment, sitting alone, in his quiet kitchen, Leo Martinez starts to feel something he hasn't felt in a very, very long time. A powerful, undeniable surge of pure, uncut hope. The next morning, Leo knows he has to find out for sure. His hands are still trembling as he looks up the number for a big, famous coin auction house in the city. He calls them, his voice cracking a little. He says, hi, I think I might have found a 1913 Liberty head nickel. The person on the other end of the line is probably thinking, yeah right buddy, we get these calls all the time. They get calls from people who think their regular old nickel is a treasure. But something in Leo's voice makes them pause. They tell him to bring it in. So Leo takes the day off work. He wraps the coin carefully in a soft cloth, puts it in a little box, and takes the bus downtown. He walks into this fancy building, a place he would normally just be cleaning. He feels completely out of place in his simple work clothes. He's taken into a quiet office where a team of experts is waiting. They're all wearing suits and looking very serious. They put on white gloves and handle the coin like it's a Fabergé egg. They look at it under microscopes. They check its weight. They check its history. The room is dead silent. After what feels like an eternity, the main expert, an older gentleman with kind eyes, looks up at Leo. He takes off his glasses, and he smiles. "Mr. Martinez," he says, on behalf of the entire numismatic community, welcome back. And that's when Leo knows. It's real. All of it. They confirm that it is, without a shadow of a doubt, the long-lost Walton nickel. The one that disappeared in that car crash all those years ago. The experts are going crazy. They're making phone calls. They can't believe it's been found after all this time, and by a janitor no less. The auction house tells Leo the coin is expected to sell for over $4 million. $4 million. When Leo hears that number, his knees go weak, and he has to sit down. He just starts to cry. Not sad tears. These are tears of relief, tears of joy, tears for every long night he worked, for every bill he couldn't pay, for every dream he thought was dead. In that one moment, the weight of the world is lifted off his shoulders. The dishwasher, the janitor, the man nobody ever noticed, is now a multi-millionaire. His life, and his family's life, will never be the same again. Now, getting $4 million is a big deal. That's life-changing money right there. Leo could have bought a mansion, a fleet of fancy cars, a yacht. He could have lived a life like you see in the movies. But that's not who Leo is. The first thing he did, he went back to that diner and found his boss, Maria. He handed her an envelope with enough money to pay off the diner's mortgage, and then some. He told her it was for being kind to him when no one else was. Then he set up a college fund for his daughter, making sure she would have every opportunity he never had. He bought a nice, comfortable house in a good neighborhood. Not a palace, just a home. A place with a backyard where his daughter could play. He bought a reliable car that wouldn't break down on him. He didn't forget where he came from. He started a foundation to help other hardworking families who were struggling just like he was. He wanted to give other people the same feeling of hope that he felt that night in his kitchen. For Leo, the money wasn't the prize. The money was the tool. It was a tool to build a better life, not just for himself, but for others too. The coin itself was sold to a wealthy collector who promised to put it on display in a museum so that everyone could see it and hear its amazing story. Leo didn't even want to keep it. He said the coin's journey wasn't over and it didn't belong to him anymore. It belonged to the world. He understood that the real treasure wasn't the nickel itself. The real treasure was the hope it gave him. It was the second chance it represented. It was the proof that miracles can and do happen to ordinary people. That's the part of the story that really gets me. It shows you what kind of man Leo is. He didn't let the money change his heart. It just made his good heart bigger. He proved that wealth isn't about how much you have. It's about what you do with what you have. He turned his good fortune into good deeds. And that, right there, is richer than any amount of money. He honored the coin's incredible journey by using its gift to create even more good in the world. Now that's what I call a happy ending. So, what's the lesson here? What are we supposed to take away from the incredible story of Leo Martinez and his lucky nickel? Is it that you should go home and check all your change, hoping to find a rare coin? Well, you can do that. And who knows, you might get lucky. But the real message is deeper than that. It's about recognizing the hidden value in the small, everyday things we overlook. It's about understanding that your life can change in an instant. You can't ever lose hope. You might feel like Leo did. You might feel stuck. You might feel like you're working so hard and getting nowhere. You might be praying for a miracle, and you're thinking that miracles only happen to other people. Well, Leo was other people. He was just a regular guy. But he was ready for his moment, even when he didn't know it was coming. His little act of curiosity, of just taking a second look at a funny-looking nickel, was the key that unlocked his entire future. You have to keep your eyes and your heart open to the possibilities around you. This story is a reminder from the universe that luck is a real thing, but it's not just about being in the right place, at the right time. It's about being the right person. Leo was a good man before he was a rich man. The money didn't make him good, it just revealed the goodness that was already there. Your character, how you treat people, how you carry yourself when you have nothing, that's the real currency. That's the stuff that matters. Because when your lucky break comes, you want to be worthy of it. So the next time you get some change, take a second. Look at it. Think about the journey it's been on. Think about the hands it has passed through. And remember that anything is possible. Your big break might not be a multi-million-dollar coin. It might be an idea, a conversation, a new opportunity. But it's out there. You just have to be ready to see it. So keep your head up, keep working hard, and keep believing. Because you never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for you to find them.